Park. Let's go.
Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 1063.
WESP Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
The OKC Thunder or the Kansas City Chiefs?
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios.
The man your man could smell.
Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking.
But are you a different animal and the same beast?
Streaming live on YouTube.
You're gonna break up with me because of what I do on the radio?
Here's Theo Dorsey.
No Theo Dorsey today. Colin Russo with Christian Cat. It's Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 1063. We are streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter /X at ESPN West Palm. Next 2 hours right here. We got a packed program. We got a little Evan Cohen coming up, host of Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio. That should be a whole lot of fun. There's a lot to talk about, too. The Florida Panthers took a commanding 1-0 series lead over the Carolina Hurricanes in the first round, or the first game, I should say, that Eastern Conference final. And on the other side of things, the Oklahoma City Thunder took, again, a commanding Game 1 victory over the Minnesota Timberwolves. And the NFL side of things, they're voting on changes throughout, and the big ones did not pass. The tush push is going to be back and better than ever next year for the Philadelphia Eagles, as that was voted on and did not pass on the motion to ban it. And also the playoff reseeding on the NFL side of things was also didn't pass, but withdrawn from the Detroit Lions were the ones that threw that out there, that the reseeding of the playoffs should be strictly off of record and nothing to do with the divisional. But that did not pass. It didn't seem like they got any steam. So what they did is they withdrew it a couple minutes before. But let's start with what we watched last night on the NBA because the Oklahoma City Thunder, watching that game against the Minnesota Timberwolves, number one, it was a pretty even. Minnesota probably played a little bit better offensively. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was terrible in the first half. Minnesota goes in to halftime with a 4-point lead. Comes out in the second half, and the Thunder just start to pour it on a little bit. Minnesota goes cold. The Thunder defense was really starting to be a little bit more pesky. They were starting to hit a little bit more shots, and they were able to blow them open and win and outscore them by 30 in the second half. It got me thinking that I'm trying to think of what type of great team is this Thunder. Or are they... They're not necessarily that one-hit wonder that, comes in, comes out, comes in like lightning, disappears like smoke. But if I were to come up with a comparison just off of how you watch it and my feel when I watch this team, it's similar to what a lot of people think, is they almost remind me a little bit of what the Kansas City Chiefs were. Not this past year. You can even count that. But the 2 years before that where they won 2 straight Super Bowls. It reminded me of a team that almost inevitably wins. And I'm not saying this because the Thunder are that much better than the crowd and this is a team that's going to win 3 championships like it's no tomorrow. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying they're as dominant. I'm not saying there's a Mahomes in the fold, but they know how to win ugly. And that is almost become an embraced identity of them. And I'm not saying that yesterday's victory was ugly. They play great defense. They know how to get to the free throw line. But that latter point that I just brought up, the free throw line, the fouls, the reliance on it, I can't sit there and say that this is a very fun team to watch because it's not. It's not. You're not fooling anybody. They're not a wow factor. It's the Scottie Scheffler of NBA teams. Not necessarily the biggest wow, blown out of your chair type of performances, but they win. That reminded me of Kansas City when they won those 2 straight Super Bowls. Kansas City, yes, they had Mahomes, and Mahomes had his occasional brilliance, but you almost just knew that somehow, some way, with the help of the officials, with the help of situational football or situational basketball in this case, it was going to fall their way. Now, they killed them, but OKC is starting to embrace that identity that we're okay with winning and it not being pretty. We actually enjoy winning and it's not being pretty. I watched yesterday's game and I thought this team is, number one, not a lot of fun to watch, and number two, probably going to win the whole thing, and I don't think anybody's going to enjoy it.
I thought the game was deceptively close in the first half because you're not going to get Julius Randle drilling 4 consecutive three-pointers to keep you afloat like the Minnesota Timberwolves did have.
And Gilgeous-Alexander was terrible in the first half. He had like 11 free throws, but like 2 of 13 made field goals. He was terrible in the first half.
Something's got to give. Like, this was unsustainable, keeping it close for the Timberwolves, which scares me for the entertainment value of the rest of the series.
Yeah, absolutely. And the one thing I'll say is it's not like OKC was just getting an unfair whistle. It's just Gilgeous-Alexander being the best player on the team. He had like 11 free throws in the first half. He got to the free throw line like 7 times. He had 7 free throws in the first 5 minutes of the game. And it's not the fact that Giannis gets fouled. Giannis gets 15 free throws in a game because Giannis is a freight train and people have to foul him. Jokic is sort of the same. Jokic complains too much, though. Gilgeous-Alexander is, to a Jalen Brunson level, so savvy with establishing contact and then understands, like Harden did and made a career out of, understands how to make the game easier. Making the game easier is getting to the free throw line. That, to me, is a disservice. It's not fun to watch. I'm not complaining about it. I'm not saying it should change. It should be outlawed. That's just my read. I don't watch the Thunder and think that this is one of those all-time great teams, the Warriors of 2018, where there's just so much firepower, there's nothing you could do. That is not this Thunder team. This Thunder team is excellent defensively. They have a great player in Gilgeous-Alexander who has an unpretty game. It's not a beautiful style. And that almost reminds me of how the Chiefs win. The Chiefs, after they lost Tyreek Hill, yes, they still have their very good 2-point conversion plays, the crafty Andy Reid plays. They have this and that, but they roll out there with McCole Harmon. They roll out there with a 34-year-old Travis Kelce, a Noah Gray, and a smattering of Pacheco and other random running backs, and they're able to win championships. They're able to get there. And it's almost the Patriots did it for years too. They're going to win, and I'm not going to enjoy watching it. That's what I get with the OKC Thunder. And I'm at this point now where they're probably going to do this and continue to do this because their defense is too good, and their ability to play on their own terms, especially Gilgeous-Alexander, is probably going to be too much. And I don't think I'm going to enjoy it. I think it's going to actually hurt what we're going to watch, the fact that OKC is going to be like this.
Yeah, it's like a bumblebee. Specifically, sorry, I should have given more context. SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, is like a bumblebee where it's buzzing around in your face. It's buzzing around in your face. It's annoying, and you can't help but swipe at it and get it out of your way. What happens when you do that? Oftentimes, you get stung. Oftentimes, that whistle blows, and it's a foul on you. And people will say, well, don't swat at it. It can't hurt you. Well, it's hard to not foul
when you get provoked.
SGA when he's... Exactly. It's very hard to watch, if you ask me. I've been A1 hater on foul baiting culture when it was James Harden behind the three-point line, and we're seeing it in a different fashion, in a different font on the Thunder right now.
Now, the one thing I'll say is the Timberwolves had no business, zero, winning last night. They can't shoot 35% from the field and shoot 51 threes. The Thunder dared them to shoot threes out the building. And there's going to be a game or two where Minnesota's able to do that, and they're probably going to beat them. But if Minnesota's plan is to shoot 53s a game, this could be a quick series. It's going to be a quick series. And then all of a sudden, the Thunder are going to roll on to play the winner of the Pacers and the Knicks, and that's either going to be a 4 or 5 game series if, again, the Thunder can play on their terms. That's an interesting comparison with the Bumblebee, but I understand the point.
Because a wasp's out to get you. A wasp is trying to initiate that contact and sting your hand.
Yes.
SGA, is trying to play that blame game where it's not my fault that I happen to be on this part of the court and your momentum brings you into that part of the court, and bing, bang, I'm at the free throw line.
And then he gets the whistle because he's probably going to get the MVP, and he's probably going to, all of a sudden, once you're that level of player, you get viewed at differently from the referees.
It's weird, though, because I would understand getting those calls post-MVP award season. Like next year, it would make more sense. Before he actually got the award, before he had that reputation, and yes, an 82-game regular season, the longest postseason, it feels like, in sports in the NBA, the reputation is out there, and it didn't take the 2024-25 season. But still, you got to show the hardware either with winning championships, winning conferences at least, or winning those individual awards. The following season, I understand those calls, not while you're doing it, not building that MVP season by doing it.
So if you're going to compare it into little quadrants of all the great players of the teams remaining, Gilgeous-Alexander's in his own box, but you got Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards, again, is wildly erratic in terms of how good he plays offensively, but is somebody who can jump out the gym, who is athletic, who is entertaining, who's got personality, who can hit big threes, who has been in big moments, who has his moments of being clutch. And then you go to the Eastern Conference, and I think Jalen Brunson does the same thing. I think Jalen Brunson is a savvy, I don't know what the word is there, but he tries to get fouls, and it's a part of his game. It's a part of his plan to get to the free throw line. And that's every NBA player, but he is savvy at doing it. And then Tyrese Halliburton, who's been the most clutch player this postseason, on top of Brunson. The reason why I give Brunson a little bit more of the pass is because at least Brunson is closing out games offensively. He did it against Detroit 3 times. He did it against the Boston Celtics closing out games. He's unbelievable in a tight spot. Game 2 against the Celtics. Great example. Brunson is better and more entertaining, not only because he plays for New York, but more importantly because he's more clutch. He's a fourth quarter star. I don't get that necessary sense with Gilgeous-Alexander. I don't know if there is a more uninteresting superstar in the NBA than Gilgeous-Alexander. And I don't know if I'm not seeing the vision on this, but in terms of being that next level of big-time star, he's there. Productively, he is there. The team is there. They're probably going to get a championship and an MVP in the same year. I don't know if there is something that is the lack of flair. It almost works against him.
And you can't blame it on market. You can't blame it on outside the U.S. because Giannis is both.
And hold on. And Westbrook, too, played for Oklahoma City, was a big star for them.
Yeah.
Durant was a big star for them. They've had big stars in Oklahoma City as well. So that hasn't been a problem in the past. I think it's play style. Is there a more uninteresting, unremarkable, maybe is the word? And maybe you're thinking, maybe my perception has been molded to favor, deep threes, Steph Curry, flashy, or going to the basket and nothing in between because he's the in-between. He's mid-range. He's play with pace, play with flow. He's get to the foul line. He's play at his own terms. That's him. But listen, basketball fan, sue me. I want to see somebody who's a prestigious athlete, who is willing to play super aggressive, who is emotional, emphatic, energetic, who has wow plays. Gilgeous-Alexander does not have that.
I'm not turning the TV on to watch SGA. I'll watch the team as a whole.
He's kill you by 1,000 cuts. He doesn't have a haymaker.
Yeah.
Anthony Edwards has a haymaker. Jalen Brunson even has a haymaker because of how he closes out games. And Halliburton is his own star.
In a day and age in the NBA where it is star-driven and people are more fans of players than fans of teams than ever before, not just in this league, but in any league ever before, I don't think we're going to see a massive Shai Gilgeous-Alexander fan club. It's a Thunder fan thing. It's the cult. You wear the T-shirt, you go to the Paycom Center, and you're a fan of the Thunder, by extension, a fan of SGA.
You hope it's not, too, because you don't necessarily want that style of play, at least with the reliance on the officials. Harden did this forever, and thankfully that Harden, the gimmicky offense, it's not really replicable, so people know it didn't really catch on from a perspective of influence, because he was also playing at the same time as Steph Curry. Now the NBA is desperately looking for that next influential big player. They have no idea who it's going to be. Nobody relates to Wembanyama. Nobody. 0 people. So they're desperately trying to search of who's going to be that big influential star, and you almost hope it's not going to be him.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's like we're in turmoil. It's war times.
You almost hope it's not going to be him. And Edwards has his own issues, and Brunson has his own issues. They all have their own issues. But Gilgeous-Alexander is it's unremarkable. It's unremarkable. And I don't know if I'm complaining about it because part of me wants the Timberwolves to win because I think it'd be a better series in the NBA Finals. But the OKC Thunder remind me of what the Chiefs did towards the end of that Chiefs run in those two Super Bowls in a row. And they don't have a Patrick Mahomes. It reminded me of when the Patriots at the end of the Brady run, when they were able to win 13-3 against the Los Angeles Rams in the Super Bowl. It's hard to compare basketball to football in that sense, but that's what they are. And it's not like there's a beauty attached to it like it was. See, I'm going to be contradictory left and right. Like with the Spurs, because the Spurs had a sense of beauty of the team basketball to it. I don't necessarily feel that with the Thunder. It's a bunch of guys space out, and we're going to just... It's good basketball, but it's not remarkable. It's not fun. There's no flash. There's no flair.
Yeah, you see in leagues, in sports, in teams where you can enjoy and get a kick out of watching them play, even if you're not rooting for the Thunder. You don't really get that. As a neutral observer, I'm not, by extension, saying, well, that was awesome. Can't wait to see them next time. It doesn't really excite me, and we don't have Thunder nausea. We're not oversaturated with Thunder. This is not a Chiefs situation.
This is their first
where we're
year,
just bored.
so we're not sick of them.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not sick
so
of them.
I'm terrified for 2027 if they're back in this spot.
Right.
It's like, oh, not again.
You watched the Golden State Warriors a couple years ago. You exit those games, you're like, boy, there was nothing we could do. That is a marvel to watch. Just how much firepower and excitement there is attached to that team. That was what you felt coming out of that. You don't get that with this generation of team.
And eventually you got tired of it when you had those boring, just academic finals where it was LeBron versus the Warriors, where we knew the outcome before the series even tipped off. That's not the case here with the Thunder. And yet we still have the same feeling of dread and inevitability. And just, it's not enjoyable.
And the Celtics had a little bit of that too, because the Celtics shoot too many threes. But the Celtics were so much better than everybody else. They lost 2 games or 3 games in the postseason last year. The Thunder have their moments where when they can't score or when Gilgeous-Alexander's not on or they're not hitting their threes, think Game 4 against Denver, then boy, you can't wait. The first half of last night, when the Thunder play like that, even when they play great, it's not interesting when they're playing great, and it's even worse when they're playing poorly. Because they don't have that natural feel to them that this is, there's no envy to them. There's no envy that I wish my team was like this. There was none of that.
I saw a little bit out of Holmgren and a little bit out of Hartenstein. That's what I got. I got a couple of nice putbacks, some blocks in there.
A couple alley-oops.
Yeah.
And I'm not looking, listen, this doesn't need to be street ball. This doesn't need to be throw alley-oops every possession. But it's just how they play. They like the mid-range. They like getting to the free throw line. Gilgeous-Alexander is their best player. He is their poster boy. And his game is more known for his ability to get fouled than it is anything else.
Horrible reputation to have amongst basketball players.
And Harden had the same thing, but Harden would put up 60, 15, and 10, and then would have 15 or 20 free throws. That would be James. So he had a 36-point per game season. It's 37-point per game season. That was, 8 years ago. That was a little different, but still same thing. The biggest thing that he is known for is his ability to get to the line. And his ability to stop the game, slow down the game, and utilize free throws. And I'm not saying that's the only reason he's any good, but it's a big reason. And that's also not saying that he's the only star that gets fouled, because all stars do. But he's the star that makes it a focal point of his offense.
Yeah.
You know, when Giannis gets fouled because they have to foul him. Jokic gets fouled because they have to foul him. The only 2 that actively search for it, I'll expand it to 3, are Jalen Brunson, Luka Doncic, and Gilgeous-Alexander. And I can't say I love watching any of the 3.
And I'll make the sports comparison. It's as if you had Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, these best wide receivers in the league, instead of worrying about catching a 50-50 ball, worrying about looking like they are getting defensive pass interference. Right. Trying to draw that every single time. When that's more of a sure thing than actually catching the ball against the cornerback who's guarding you or the safety coming over the top, if you had your stars preoccupied with trying to draw that penalty more so than trying to make a great play, it makes for an awful precedence and an awful blueprint if that works.
When there's a reliance on the officials, there is a stain on your cultural impact amongst the greats in that league, in my opinion. When you are so reliant, and I'll circle back. This is not me saying that this is the only thing he's good at. He's a very good defender. They have an excellent defensive team. He is a good shooter. He is great in the mid-range. That is all true. But the most remarkable part of his game, the most memorable part of his game is his ability to get to the free throw line. 888-760-3776, the Baptist Health Hotline, theoretically speaking, ESPN 106.3. Are you on the same boat as me, Christian, where I think that this is what we're going to see? The Thunder are probably going to, it's that slow steamroll. You know it's coming. There's no getting out of the way. It's not like the Celtics where they sort of blitz you. The Thunder, throughout a 7-game series, you're not going to be able to put this together for 4 wins. They're probably just going to get the better of you, and they're going to have their days where they're off and their days where they're on, and they're just going to eventually take it, and everybody's going to dread every second of it.
Yeah, I kind of go back to how that first half was kept close because of Julius Randle hitting these threes from either the corner, the top of the key, the wing. It didn't matter. They were just going in, and even he was confused as to why he had the hot hand from beyond the arc. I think we'll get one nuclear Anthony Edwards game this series. That'll be good for a Timberwolves win. But if the same Anthony Edwards that we saw last night shows up more often than not in this series, it's already over. He was already mad with how many shots he put up. And it's not because he wasn't getting the ball. It's because they were swarming him, and he had no chance. He wasn't forcing it. He has no chance for quality looks.
Yeah, he only took 13 shots. That's one thing. But one thing that I'll say about Minnesota is you can't knock the Thunder for how they play defense. Excellent defensive team. There's no doubt about that. They are a superb defensive bunch. But the thing I can knock them for is on the other side, because they're not that fun. They're not that fun. It's just not a fun. It's a non-fun great team. That's what the Thunder are.
It's an underground rapper that has a very strong vocal fan base that isn't very big. They've got their circle, and their circle loves them.
They got a niche. It's a niche.
They put the T-shirts on.
It's a cult.
They're loud in the second half on ESPN, but unless you're a dedicated fan, you want that turned off. You're not going to a concert. You're not turning on.
It's Virginia Tech. It's Virginia Tech. It's, they
Virginia or Virginia Tech?
Virginia Tech. They got that great stadium. Now, if it's Virginia Tech, was great because they got that little.
Mm-hmm. Enter Sandman.
That's it. They got Enter Sandman.
I like the bricks along the wall.
Nobody lose sleep over the Hokies, but the Hokie fans think that Hokies are everything. So that's why I
haven't met many Virginia Tech fans.
I have, and they love Virginia Tech.
They think they matter more than they do?
Yes. Most ACC schools.
I think I've gone maybe 4 weeks without thinking about the idea of Virginia Tech. Right. I forget they exist.
Right.
I like their colors, actually.
Right.
Underrated color scheme in college football. Probably in the top 20 if you were to ask me.
Right.
But no passing thought on Virginia Tech.
That's how it goes. But Virginia Tech is the biggest thing in Virginia Tech at Virginia Tech. That's how it goes. That's a little bit how it works with the OKC Thunder. Weirdly enough, what a comparison that is. But nonetheless, the one thing I'll say too, Minnesota, they didn't need to win game 1. That was not important. It's hard to draw conclusions. You need to steal one on the road. That's it. They didn't get game 1. All right, well, you got to give them a good punch game 2. Maybe OKC's riding off a high. That's been the theme this playoffs, the trend. Denver did it after their 7-game series. Against the Clippers, they went and won game 1 against the OKC Thunder. Maybe that's what it is. You're riding off the high of that 7-game series with the Nuggets, and the Minnesota Timberwolves had a little bit of rest. That's how that goes. Golden State Warriors happened to them, 7-game series against Houston. Minnesota had some rest, and Golden State steals game 1. That's been the trend. So I'm not necessarily calling fire, but Minnesota is going to have to steal. Falling down 2-0 is going to be a very, very tricky spot, in my opinion. I don't think this is a let OKC get 2 and then you steal 2 in your building. I don't think this is going to be that type of series. You're going to need to apply some pressure to them and put the pressure in their ballpark. Because if you are climbing out of a hole with the defense that they have, they can almost play conservatively.
God, the Eastern Conference Finals better be good. If last night was a sign of more things to come,
I'm not ready to say that. I'm not ready to say that.
You're not ready to say that will lack entertainment value this series?
I'm not ready to say that. Not after game 1. There's a lot of games to go.
That's true. Whenever you go back to your home court.
You need to steal 1 on the road. That's it. You need still 1 on the road. Their thought process, Minnesota, was that we don't need to win game 1 and 2. We need to win games 1 or 2. So game 2 is now going to determine how I feel about the rest of the series. If they fall down 2-0,
A lot of stock in it.
then we're going to be nervous. But if that's when they win, then all of a sudden the series is completely different. Pacers, Knicks, we'll have to get into a little bit of that. We're going to talk to Evan Cohen on the flip side of things, I believe. A host of Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio. Of course, he'll join us on the flip side. First, are you experiencing foot and ankle pain and you need to see an expert in the field? Well, Baptist Health Orthopedic Care has a ton of foot and ankle orthopedic surgeons and specialists who are regarded as leaders in their specialty. You can visit baptisthealth.org/ortho to learn more today. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care combines its resources of experienced physicians and leading-edge treatments and technology to provide advanced orthopedic, foot and ankle, joint replacement, spine, and sports medicine care. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho for more information today. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care has offices conveniently located right here in Palm Beach County through the Florida Keys. Learn more by going to baptisthealth.net/ortho. Colin Russo, Christian Cat filling in for Theo Dorsey on Theoretically Speaking. We're going to talk to Evan Cohen, host of Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio. Get his thoughts. Are the Thunder an uninteresting great team? An unfun great team? Is it because of their unfun best player? We'll get that answer from Evan Cohen on the flip side of things. Theoretically Speaking, ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Tired of being sidelined by a sports injury? Get back in the game with Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Whether you're a professional athlete or even a weekend warrior, you can get back to doing what you love with our compassionate orthopedic team. Experience a new level of care and get back to your best. Welcome to being treated like a pro. Make an appointment today at baptisthealth.net/ortho or call 833-556-6764.
I'm Mark Anajar.
I'm Glenn Levine.
I'm Ellie Anajar.
Together, we're Anajar and Levine, and our team is a triple threat to big insurance companies.
Don't settle with the insurance companies for a fraction of what your case is worth. We'll fight to get you the maximum compensation you deserve.
That's the Anajar and Levine difference. Get your free case review right now. We'll help you take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
In office, West Palm Beach.
At St. Lucie Battery and Tire, batteries came before tires. We've been selling and servicing all types of batteries for over 50 years. So when you need a battery for nearly anything, we have it, as well as the fast professional installation you need. We carry premium batteries for all your needs: automotive, commercial, marine, RV, and specialty. We also offer delivery and on-site installation, serving our customers quality products for over 50 years in the home of honest, reliable service. Go to slbt.com and book your next appointment.
Don't miss Russo and Rizzo. Colin did the warm-up to his Ironman. What happened?
I would say just about everything that could go wrong went wrong. They say go. I run out. I'm about 20 steps from the shoreline, and I step on something very sharp, and I gash my right foot open. So that's number one. Swimming to the bike. So I had to run on the beach, run on the pavement, run over a field and grass, get to my bike. Fast forward, I'm 21 miles into my bike, and then my rear tire explodes.
It's Russo and Rizzo, weekdays at 4, here on ESPN 106.3.
Banyan Printing. For 47 years, the trusted partner for all your printing, mailing, and signage needs. And 2025 just brought something big to Banyan. Introducing Banyan's new press. Bigger, faster, and more competitively priced than anything you'll find anywhere in the Palm Beaches. Think variable data postcards, bulk mailings, and high-quality print on stocks up to a 24-point board. Banyan Printing. Visit banyanonline.com and discover how your business's printing materials can get bigger and better.
For 48 straight years, Ford F-Series have been the best-selling trucks in America. We got here by engineering breakthrough technology, redefining Built Ford Tough, and never settling for second best. But what's really made Ford F-Series the #1 selling trucks in America is you. Ford F-Series, Built Ford Tough. Based on 1977 to 2024 calendar year total sales.
ESPN 106.3 is your home for live sports presented by Hard Rock Bet. home of the Miami Heat, now the new home of Inter Miami. Catch all the games and the biggest matchups throughout the week right here on ESPN 106.3. Hard Rock Bet, it's Florida's official sportsbook. Try Hard Rock Bet now and receive up to $100 back in bonus bets if your first bet does not win. Hard Rock Bet, roll with us. It's offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida. The wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Calling all sports fans, grab your MVP card and head to Duffy's where you can catch all of the action. Not an MVP? Sign up for free and start earning rewards today. Duffy's is voted the best sports grill year after year with their award-winning burgers and wings. Don't forget about Duffy's famous 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. And with over 80 TVs in every location, you'll never miss a minute of the game. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more. Duffy's, our game is always on.
Hey, it's Theo, and I've asked you this before. I'll ask you again. Is your air or water flowing perfectly in your home? If the answer is no, EDS is yes. That's right. EDSisyes.com. They have been servicing Palm Beach County and the greater area since 2006, keeping you cool, keeping me cool. And you know I like my house nice and breezy, especially as the temperatures are rising. The summer months, they are hitting us in the face like a pound of bricks, and you got to make sure your AC is on point. EDS is Palm Beach County's trusted AC and plumbing expert. They'll make sure your air and water flow perfectly so you can relax in comfort. And best of all, you know this, they have flexible financing options. Your budget will not stand in between you and the comfort you deserve. I have the Gold Plan. That gives me 2 checkups every year, as well as 15% off repairs. Go online, check it out yourself. See if you can use the good people at EDSisyes.com. Call today or visit the website. When comfort matters, EDS is yes.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking. Streaming live on YouTube, here's Theo Dorsey.
No Theo Dorsey today. Colin Russo filling in on Theoretically Speaking, ESPN 106.3 with Christian Cat helping me out behind the glass. We're at the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. Also streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter /X at ESPN West Palm. Welcoming in somebody who I've spoken to on the air about 3 times now, 3 more times in last week. I think was the previous 6 months. And he's the host of Unsportsmanlike. You can hear him from 6 to 10 a.m. weekdays on ESPN Radio nationally. He is a former ESPN West Palm host himself. He is a South Florida guy himself. It is Evan Cohen joining the program now. Evan, welcome in. How are you?
Why do you say I'm a former ESPN West Palm host? I'm literally heard on the air more than any ESPN West Palm host currently.
Why do you want... Hold on a second. When's the last time... I don't see you here. Are you in the office? Did we miss you?
I'm sorry. What? I'm sorry. What's the name of the studio you're in?
The phony Evan Cohen. First of all, I didn't name this. I think this should be changed, but I don't see you around the office. Are you a West Palm teammate? I must have been confused. Huh? Where are you? Do you have a back room that we don't know about?
I'm sorry. I built that studio.
Oh, you built the studio. Have you ever?
Hammer and nails. Very handy, Colin.
So I
don't like this. I don't like.
You don't like what?
I don't like the idea that you were going to consider me not an ESPN West Palm teammate. How do you put in
former
20 years?
Evan, there's nothing wrong with being
Dan
a former.
Marino, hold on. Is Dan Marino not a Dolphin?
He's a former Dolphin. He's not in the 53. He's a former Dolphin. But I'm on the 53. I'm on the 53. Hey,
I'm 6 to 10 on ESPN West Palm.
And here's what I'll say, too. Dan Marino's a Hall of Famer, my friend. So, come on. Let's be fair. Yeah? You think you're worthy of that embellishment?
Is Udonis Haslem not a member of the Heat?
Mario Chalmers. If you saw Mario Chalmers on the street, you go, that's Miami Heat Mario Chalmers?
Oh, you are barking up the wrong tree. Who is it that you report to?
I report to Brian Rowitz.
And who is his favorite basketball player of all time?
Is it Mario Chalmers?
That is not a joke. Now, by the way, that's a good topic. The most ridiculous favorite player of all time amongst Palm Beach County Treasure Coast. Like, who would you say, in any sport, your favorite player of all time? Non-obvious. Like, I would say MJ, like not an MJ kind of guy. Not a LeBron, not a Brady. Who would you say?
I mean, from South Florida people or from my personal teams?
Anybody.
You know, somebody that always pops into my head is Alan Hearns, former wide receiver of the Jacksonville Jaguars. That was always my guy.
who went to the University of Miami. So
Right.
you could have done it that way too. So Alan Hearns is
Undrafted,
the most
too.
random,
Yeah.
most random favorite player of all time. What? Let me show you something. Let me see. I'm not a current ESPN West Palm teammate. 888-760-3776.
Oh, God.
888-760-ESPN. All right, here's what I want. All over Palm Beach County, the Treasure Coast, your most random favorite player of all time. So it doesn't have to be a South Florida guy. Mine is Udonis, although I don't know that you're going to say that that's
Udonis
random.
Haslam, that's not. Yeah, I wouldn't call that a random. But
That's not random?
no.
Non-Hall of Famer?
He was the most consistent face
he's
in
the
that
most
Heat locker
important
room
player of
outside of
20 years.
Spoelstra. Outside of Spoelstra and Riley, he's the most consistent face in that locker room for the better
No
part of 2
doubt.
decades.
No doubt. I'll take that as a compliment.
So
And
how
not
is that
not to
random?
me specifically.
So how is that
How
random?
can- it's a non-Hall. You said about me that I am not a Hall of Famer, and I said, okay, fine. I'm not Marino. I'm not arguing that. But I have to have. I'm the most. I am Haslam. 20 plus years, always on ESPN West Palm. I have been on every slot. I've been on 6 to 10. I've been on it during the 3 o'clock hour, the 4 o'clock hour, the 5 o'clock hour, the 6 o'clock hour, 7 o'clock hour, 8 o'clock hour.
So a lot
I've
of
never
different
been on
roles,
in the 10 to 2.
different roles,
10 to
different
3.
spots. And listen, you've been on
Right.
Sirius, you've been on ESPN now. You've had a lot, a
Sirius,
smattering
not
of roles.
a great run. Not a great
Not
run.
You're like
Poor leadership.
Taj Gibson, something like that. Couple different
He
spots.
lived in my building.
He lived in your building?
My building. I would literally see him at the gym. No joke. Taj Gibson lived in my building in New York City.
So every person I'm bringing up here, you have some smattering of a connection to. Mario Chalmers, Taj Gibson, and now Udonis Haslam. Okay, interesting. All right, so that's your random favorite player. Mine was Alan Hearns, and yours is Udonis Haslam. Interestingly enough. All right, Ev. Well,
and so you're saying that's not sufficient.
I don't think Udonis Haslam. I think that is too well known of a Miami Heat player in order to constitute as random. It's too well known, and that's not fair to say. That's not unfair to say.
No, that. I think it's the ultimate compliment to a guy like that when you have 20 years on one team and you're not a Hall of Famer and you're not an All-Star and you're saying he's too well known.
Norris Cole
That's
would have
very
sufficed more. Norris Cole would have worked.
He was on with us this week. I swear to God.
What is going on here? You had Norris Cole on? What were you publicizing with Norris Cole?
He works on ESPN Radio, Colin.
Oh, does he? Oh.
Somewhere that based on the way this interview is going, you may never work.
Evan Cohen, of course, hosted of Sports. We're like, I didn't realize Norris Cole was doing radio bits. How about that? Interesting. Joel Anthony, have you done anything with him recently?
I have not.
Okay,
Joel, no. And it's Joel.
Yeah. Ronnie Turioff, none of that? Okay, you haven't done any of that with those specific guys. All right, Ev.
It's Roni.
Well, we got to talk.
You've gotten every name.
What? I've gotten every name wrong?
Yeah, well, runs in the family. Yeah. All right, go ahead.
The Thunder last night, I was thinking about that specific team, how they kind of sit with me as a great team in the NBA because that was a emphatic second half that they had. They took a 1-0 series lead over the Minnesota Timberwolves, and they almost reminded me of not necessarily in style in terms of dominance, but in terms of how they win and how you feel about it. How Kansas City won those last 2 Super Bowls because it was almost you had a bad taste in your mouth exiting the game. And it's not because of you didn't think they play poorly. You don't think they're escaping these games, but they're not that interesting. They're not that fun to me. I consider them an unfun, great team because they don't necessarily have that flair factor. I think that stems from Gilgeous-Alexander, and I think that stems from his play style. But I also think that stems from a team totality perspective that they just don't have enough flair that it doesn't excite you when you lose them. You lose to the Warriors 3 years ago. You lose to some of the great teams over the years, and you think, boy, that's a great team. There's no doubt about that. The Thunder, how they play and sort of the identity they've embraced, I don't think it leans itself into something that is fun after the game. What are your thoughts on what you've seen from the Thunder there?
Yeah. Did you just, in a roundabout way, compliment them? Because you're saying, like, they're kind of boring. You expect them to win.
It's the total. That's it. I think they're going to. It's a slow steamroll. I think they're going to slow steamroll their way through the rest of this postseason. It's almost inevitable. You almost have to make your peace with it, and I don't think anybody's going to enjoy watching it. So
I had a conversation this morning. I don't know if you know Hembo, who works at Get Up. He's a tremendous researcher on air guy, and he said they've become the Spurs. in that they just kind of do their job. They're great on defense. They're really smart. They move the ball, and they just win. And I kind of got to a point this morning where I'm just like, they're just going to win the title, aren't they? Like, we've had all this drama about, oh, what's wrong with the Celtics? The Knicks having this unbelievable run. The Pacers are great. Ant-Man face of the league. It's probably just going to be the number one team that's been the number one team all year that's just going to win the title.
And I think that reaction that you gave and talking about, hey, they're just going to win, I think that's the negative connotation that surrounds Oklahoma City is they're almost inevitable. This run is almost inevitable.
Here's what my dad says this to me about Tim Duncan, because, how do you not love Tim Duncan? But he falls under the category that you're talking about of like boring. What's your reaction? There's no excitement. My dad always says about Tim Duncan, he's kind of the guy that has 6 points and 3 rebounds in every quarter. And then the end of the game, you're like, he had 24 and 12 and they won. But it's not like this unbelievable burst of 12 points in the final 5 minutes of the game. He just 6 and 3 every quarter, which times 4 is 24 and 12. And that's what he has. And that's kind of, I know Shea did it for the most part in the second half last night, but they're just awesome on defense. They're efficient on offense. They're really smart. They're well coached. I mean, they've done a hell of a job, and they're probably going to win the championship.
And the one thing I'll add to that is the thing about Duncan was that you just know how just fundamentally perfect he was. Gilgeous-Alexander, to me, I think the most impressive part of his game, the most memorable part about his game is his ability to get to the free throw line. I think that is more so than his defense. I think that's more so than his mid-range ability, his scoring ability, getting to the basket. I think the most important part, the most memorable part about his game is his ability to get to the free throw line and make his free throws. And I don't think that's necessarily a good thing for a big-time star.
Yeah, I don't think it's memorable as much as it is that's the best part of his game, because you don't remember. He doesn't get to the line the way like D-Wade got to the line or the way Jimmy got to the line.
But memorable in the sense of when you think of the first thing about Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and what he does. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander had a good game last night. How many free throws did he have? It's almost where your mind goes to, because that's how he leans into it. Brunson does the same thing, but Brunson at least is very clutch. Brunson has his flash moments at the end of games. I don't like when a big-time star is the first thing I think about is how much to get to the free throw line. How many of those free throws were warranted? That's the first thing I think of when I watch Gilgeous-Alexander.
I understand. I just want to go back to your comparison with the Chiefs. I get what you're saying. The Chiefs, the way they won,
they embraced the referees. They embraced the defense.
I understand that. I just don't look at it as. I think it's hard to compare any team with Mahomes to any team with SGA as the face of the team.
True.
I think it's Mahomes just brings excitement upon arrival. I get what you're saying. I would compare it more to maybe the Warriors run.
The later Brady days, the Brady year that they won the championship against the Rams. Like, that was the inevitable year.
That was 13-3 in the Super Bowl, if I'm not mistaken. I think that the most significant game, non-Super Bowl of my lifetime, was the Patriots-Chiefs 2019 AFC title game, overtime in Kansas City. I don't know that we've ever seen a passing of the torch moment, ever, more than that one. Because even though the Chiefs lost, and even though the Patriots won the next game, which was the Super Bowl, to me, the last night of the Patriots dynasty, the last game you remember of the Patriots being the Patriots, was that game 2019 against the Chiefs in the AFC title game. I think it's one of the greatest football games I've ever seen played. But to that point, if you think about why they were so great, why they were able to win the Super Bowl that year, the defense and literally the blocking of Gronk. That is a boring thing to say, but that's the Thunder. It's like, hey, we're talking about Gronk, party animal, great tight end. Yeah, he's actually a really good blocker. Like, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander won the MVP, and Colin Russo was saying, yeah, he's just really good at getting to the free throw line. That's like kind of what he does. And it's not as sexy, maybe, as some of the other title winners that we've seen in any sport, ever.
A non-sexy is probably the way to put it. It's a non-sexy superstar. Evan, to stay on the topic of the NFL, I want to switch gears a little bit because the owners voted on a plethora of different things today, and the two big ones that both did not pass. We want to start with the tush push. The tush push actually went to a vote. It did not. We're going to see it again next year. It didn't. The push to ban it, led by the Packers, did not pass. What were your takeaway on this? Are you pro or against it?
No, I want it in the game. I like it. I enjoy it. I think it's great from a strategy perspective. It's a little confusing, though, in this regard. Two things, Colin. Number one, they're saying, we want to go back to the rule that was placed into the league in 2005 where you're not allowed to push or pull runners, whoever's running the football.
Ball carriers, yep.
Forward. I want to go back to that rule. That was the big theme, right? When did they take that rule away? What the hell are they talking about? I still don't know what they voted on today. Just enforce the rule. Just literally, that was like the whole thing with baseball pitch clock. Nobody realized baseball has a pitch clock. They just didn't actually have the digital clock to see it. You were only, if I'm not mistaken, when everybody made a big deal, baseball needs a pitch clock. If I'm not mistaken, baseball had a 30-second rule for pitchers on the mound. So I don't know what they were voting on. It's just about enforcing it. If you don't want the tush push, you can actually still eliminate it right now, even after they vote, by just enforcing a rule that's actually in place. I hope they don't. I like that it's still alive. But here's the other thing that I was wondering. This is going to sound very weird, but hear me out on this. I don't even know if you're paying attention. You never look up. Did Jason Kelsey get this done? Like, if he doesn't show up today, are the owners voting in a different direction? Jason Kelsey shows up. Brilliant move by the Eagles. And all of a sudden, the votes change?
I think you're overrating Jason Kelsey's his star power amongst the owners of the NFL. Why do they care about Jason Kelsey?
I don't know. Why did they bring him today?
I mean, as an advocate, maybe as a player advocate. I mean, I don't think if you ask a ton of players, I don't necessarily think they'd all be up in arms anti-tush push. I think it's really the owners and the front offices and maybe some of the coaches that have a problem with it more so than the players. If you actually got a survey together, I think that would be the case. So I think maybe they did that for a player advocacy standpoint.
Let me ask you this one. You'll like this. If you're the Green Bay Packers, who for whatever reason were all in on trying to ban this, are you ever allowed to institute it?
To do it on in your own? Yeah. I don't think they ever would because of a pride perspective. You know, the pride of the Packers is the whole thing. But it's also, they're not built for that. You're not going to. Jordan Love is, as a physical stature, is not going to do that. I don't think. I don't think they ever will.
Malik Willis out there. You put Malik Willis. I'm just saying, if you're the Packers, I don't ever want to see you doing that ever.
Right, I agree.
Can't do that.
I agree. And the weird thing is, the Patriots were voting against it. The Jets were voting. You guys were never even playing the Eagles. You maybe play them once every 2 or 3 years. What are you guys voting against it for? It's the dumbest thing in the world. They're not exploiting anything. They have a 250-pound quarterback and 700 pounds amongst two people on their offensive line, and they're able to utilize that to the best of their ability. I don't understand. I don't think if you really ask the players, they would be ultra against it. I think it's more of an owner's thing because of the dominant side. But from that perspective, what about the playoff reseeding? That one kind of got withdrawn weirdly enough, you mentioned how it was the Packers. It was a little strange they brought it up. How about the Lions bringing up the fact that the playoffs should maybe be reseeded? I know the NFC North was the punishment of this because of that, all the great teams. But that got withdrawn. It didn't go to a vote. What's your perspective there?
Yeah, so I would like to know the first time the Lions decided to put in any kind of notice to the league, we need the reseeding. Because they benefited, right? I mean, if you think about it, they won that game. Minnesota's a 5 seed. They're the 1 seed. They didn't get screwed by it at all, right? If I'm not mistaken, or the 2 seed, whatever they were. They didn't get screwed by this. I'm fine with this. The thing that I like, I think if you have a division winner with a losing record, they shouldn't be allowed to host a home game. That would
you
be
want
my
a stipulation.
Thing.
You don't want to change the rule. You want a stipulation.
Yeah, I'm okay with the division winner getting in. But if you're 8-9 and you get to host a playoff game against a 13-win team because they have a 14-win team in the division, that one bothers me more than the reseeding.
I know there's examples from over the years, but the one thing I don't like how this is brought up after the Minnesota Vikings of all teams, when being the 14-win, playing quote-unquote a road game, when that game was a neutral site in Arizona because of the wildfires. So it wasn't even like they went to SoFi Stadium and then got blown out of the building. They went to Arizona, and then they still got blown out of the building. So I can't necessarily sit here and sympathize with the Minnesota Vikings of the world because they didn't have a home game after having a terrible last 3 games of the season. I can't necessarily sympathize with that. Similar to the tush push, you got to play the game and win it. And the fact that they didn't, I can't necessarily sit here and say that there's a malfunction in the rules because the Minnesota Vikings of all teams were not the beneficiary of it. I can't get into that. I really can't.
There was one other story that I thought was interesting in the NFL over the last 24 hours. Did you happen to see Marjorie Harris? She's one of the owners of the Commanders. Did you see what she said?
No, I did not.
She was promoting the draft. So they just got the draft in 27 in D.C.? And she said, "Oh, it's great we have the draft because we're America's team," which I thought was very interesting. This came up on our show. Michelle Smallman last week brought up, like, why are we still considering the Cowboys America's team? Like, how illogical is that? And then the owner of the Commanders says, "Hey, we're America's team," which I thought was pretty interesting. So if we're doing a redraft of that moniker, of that label, the Commanders may have more of a run at it than the Cowboys do, ironically enough. I'm not trying to give it to either of them. I'd probably go with the Chiefs. They're, to me, still the most relevant team. But I thought that was interesting, that the Commanders look at themselves now after a gazillion years of being horrific. Snyder was awful, new ownership, we get it. But now they're going to classify themselves as America's team?
See, I don't want this to become a thing. I don't want this to become an open season of trying to get America's team. I don't feel comfortable with that. Now, do I lose sleep that the Cowboys are labeled America's team? No. But the one thing I'll say is, you said the Chiefs. I'd probably lean the Packers there, probably just off the basis of a small city team, historic, owned by the people. I think that is more leans to the pride of what the NFL is. I think the Packers would be that.
I mean, we picked the two teams in Super Bowl I, right? I mean, you and I together, like, there is a history there of those two teams.
Historic teams, yes, of course. And I think that just the most, it's called the Lambeau, the whole thing, the Lombardi Trophy. I think the Packers probably lean more into that. But though I don't want that to become a thing. I'm okay with the Cowboys having America's team because it's almost a mockery to them at this point.
It's an easier way to make fun of them.
It's a mockery. It's easier to make fun of the Cowboys because they get 17 primetime games every year and they stink in a big spot. That's okay. I'm okay with that. It's almost too much pressure.
That's a good angle.
It's too much pressure. It's too much pressure to be America's team and to be consistently great. If you were America's team and you stink, all of a sudden you're the big target on your back. I'd almost avoid that if I was a team. If I'm Washington, I want nothing to do with that because
nobody asked her about it. She just out of nowhere said, you could have just said, "Hey, we got the draft. This is going to be great for DC business. We saw what it just did in Green Bay. It's coming to our nation's capital."
What is their angle there? Is it because it's the nation's capital? Is it because do we vote the Wizards?
America, White House, all that.
Wizards? No. The Nationals? Absolutely not. They don't necessarily. The Capitals? No.
The biggest athlete in the nation's capital, outside of Jaden Daniels, not even American. No Ovechkin. Right. I mean, let's be honest.
So I don't understand necessarily what their angle is in terms of acquiring that, but I'm okay with the Cowboys having it because that's almost the slap in the face. That's the slime on their head that they are America's team and they still can't get to a big playoff spot. I'm okay with that.
That's fair.
Sign me up. Sign me up.
I thought initially you were dismissing the conversation. What you're dismissing is allowing anyone else to have it because you like it on the Cowboys to pile on.
Isn't that you're okay with that? Isn't that the most fun team to make fun of in the NFL? At least.
No, the way you said it makes sense. I was going somewhere else, but the way you said it makes sense. And by the way, you in a roundabout way agreed with me because I said if you're going to leave that open for interpretation, the Commanders are more likable than the Cowboys now, which actually makes the irony of the nickname better, is that no one loves you, you have no direction, and you call yourself America's team. We get how rich you are. But man, oh man.
And you're force-fed down everybody's throat. You're going to be in the opening game, Christmas, Thanksgiving, and almost nobody wants to see you. And nobody wants to see you.
Well, that I disagree with.
The Cowboys?
You could say nobody wants to see you based on the fact they're not good. They consistently draw more eyes and ears than any team in all sports.
Statistically, yes. They are a major draw. But I think the people around the NFL, I think we've had enough of the Cowboys. Now, the numbers don't match up to that, but if we were to have somebody, if you and I were to choose it and not have the numbers, the ratings involved, I don't think we'd have the Cowboys included.
Well, this is the schedule. What they're trying to tell you on some of the schedule things make no sense. I know how many Dolphins fans we have listening to ESPN West Palm, but 5 standalone primetime games for Miami Dolphins?
Ridiculous.
What?
Ridiculous.
And it's just, is Marino playing? Then I wasn't aware? I mean, what's happening here?
There is no draw. There is no draw to that. I completely agree. I would say
Dolphins fans, I talked to Zaz the other day about this. I don't know when you guys have today, tomorrow, whenever it is, Jonathan Zaslow. And I called him. I said, Zaz. He goes, I know. I'm a Dolphins fan. This is ridiculous. Well, I don't want to be exposed like this five times on national TV standalone games this year. You want to ease in. If you're good, be an add-on late on a flex. You don't want to do it early in the season if you're the Dolphins, just in case you're not good.
I do think the NFL did a good job for a change on their actual holiday scheduling, because I think putting the Bears and the Eagles on Black Friday was a good move. I think ending it off with Cincinnati Ravens and the late slate on Thanksgiving was a good move. I actually think Kansas City, the Cowboys, that's all about them trying to get $50 million for a regular season game. But I actually think that they weren't afraid to put a big-time game in a good spot on Christmas and Thanksgiving. So I actually can't knock them too much. Yeah, you got to deal with the Cowboys, but whatever. The other games are good, so I'm okay with that. Evan, last thing here before we let you go. Tonight, Knicks-Pacers, Game 1. We mentioned the non-fun team in Oklahoma City, the inevitable team. I guess this is the team that's maybe lining up to get smacked in the face by OKC. What's your perspective in terms of who's going to punch first in this Pacers-Knicks series?
Yeah, I picked Pacers in 7, and I picked Siakam to win Series MVP. I think we're underrating a little bit that the Pacers have 2 guys, coach and player, who have been there and done that. Does anyone know that Rick Carlisle won a title? He did it against the Heat.
And an impossible title, too.
Right. Does anyone know that Siakam won an impossible title? It became easier, obviously, when KD and Clay got hurt for the Warriors against the Raptors in 19. I just think there's a little bit of underrated storyline of those 2 guys having been there and done that. I think it's very simple for the Knicks, though, Colin. If Bridges and Anunoby attack and score, the Knicks are going to win. The Knicks are going to win, right? When those guys take a step back and don't score, I think that's when they have a problem.
I think everybody wants to underrate. The Pacers haven't been challenged yet. They haven't been challenged yet. They haven't necessarily had backs against the wall moments because they were able to dominate the Bucks in Game 1 of that series, and all of a sudden they're in the driver's seat, and they were able to beat the Cavaliers in Game 1 and 2 of that series, and all of a sudden it's easy coasting from there. Yeah, the Cavaliers are good. You're almost wondering if they could get back into the series. But people are forgetting that for a team that's 8-2 in the postseason, you almost forget because the Knicks have been in dogfights on their side. They were in a dogfight against Detroit.
Yeah, but I think you're underrating the Pacers. I think you're underrating the Pacers.
No, I'm not.
Part of the reason they haven't.
I think they'll win. I think the Pacers will win.
They're killing other teams. You pick the Pacers?
Yes, I do. I think the Pacers are going to win. They have too much firepower.
Very simply, the Knicks were built to beat the Celtics. The assumption was if you beat the Celtics, you can get to the final / win the championship. The Knicks were not built to beat an additional round in the Eastern Conference playoffs past the Celtics. Think about that. The thought was you'd play them in an Eastern Conference finals and you're built to beat them. And then you're in the finals, anything could happen. They were not built to beat them in the second round with another round before the finals.
And then one thing I'll add, too, is the Pacers are the exact same way. The Pacers are built and bred to beat the Celtics because that was the team that gave the Celtics the best shot last year in the Eastern Conference Finals. They lost in 4, but they lost by a combined 8 points in 3 of the games. That is a team that is...
the Pacers do something a little bit different because of how fast they are and they're smaller.
They go at it different ways, but that team was literally bred with Boston on the schedule. That was it. Evan, we appreciate it as always. We've been talking a lot recently. How about that? A couple times here in the past week or two.
I don't think you love it, but I'm not sure.
Who knows? I guess you'll never know. Appreciate it as always, Evan. We look forward to speaking again maybe in 3-4 months. But appreciate it as always, yeah?
Thank you, Colin.
All right. That's Evan Cohen, of course, host of Unsportsmanlike, 6 to 10 a.m. on ESPN Radio. We'll flip around here. Second hour, theoretically speaking, coming up right after this on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
It's Work Zone Awareness Week, Florida. Every year, lives are lost in work zones because of speeding and distractions. When you see orange cones, remember, slow down, follow the signs, and stay focused. Workers are counting on you to get home safely, and so are their families. Let's work together to prevent crashes and save lives. A safety reminder from the Florida Department of Transportation. Slow your roll. Safety's the goal.
Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 1063.
WESP Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
In South Florida, when it's time to get back in the game, there's a name you need to know. HSS Florida. HSS ranked number 1 in orthopedics for 15 years in a row by U.S. News and World Report. HSS brings world-class care to Palm Beach and Wellington. Whether it's a joint replacement, sports injury, or orthopedic trauma, HSS Florida treats athletes of all ages. Visit hss.edu/Florida to schedule your consultation today. HSS Florida, where champions and everyday people alike get the care they need to stay at the top of their game.
The Club at Lost Lake, a championship Fazio design golf course in Hope Sound. Golf and social memberships are now available with no waiting list and immediate access. The course and club will see over $10 million in capital improvements and is one of the best private club values in the area. Experience the beauty and challenge of this renowned course for yourself. Enjoy year-round access to exclusive amenities and events. Elevate your game, elevate your experience. Discover the Club at Lost Lake. Visit clublostlake.com to schedule a visit today.
What would you do with an extra $700? You can earn up to $700 per year with Boost Checking from Flagler Credit Union. Boost Checking pays 7.0 annual percentage yield on balances up to $10,000. That's up to $700 extra to do what you love. Boost Checking from Flagler Credit Union. Requirements apply to earn the highest dividend rates. Limit 1 checking account per membership. Dividend rates and annual percentage yield subject to change. Business accounts do not qualify. Insured by NCUA, proud partner of Florida Atlantic University Athletics.
Tired of being sidelined by a sports injury? Get back in the game with Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Whether you're a professional athlete or even a weekend warrior, you can get back to doing what you love with our compassionate orthopedic team. Experience a new level of care and get back to your best. Welcome to being treated like a pro. Make an appointment today at baptisthealth.net/ortho or call 833-556-6764.
Wing Wednesday, brought to you by Hurricane Grill and Wings. 30 bold flavors, ice-cold beer, handcrafted cocktails. Your home for sports is Hurricane Grill and Wings. Find your spot at hurricanewings.com.
Mike Rizzo here with the Sports Business Minute presented by the FAU MBA in Sport Management Program. Caitlin Clark, Paige Beckers, Angel Reese, Cameron Brink. These are just a few young and up-and-coming names within the WNBA. And speaking of the WNBA, the league's opening weekend of games were at nearly 90% capacity in their arenas. A couple sold out as well. The Fever and Mystics each sold out. And I think a lot of this has to do with the young and up-and-coming stars that have been drafted into the league the last couple of years. The WNBA has been a very popular sport, and it's probably only going to get bigger. This is the Sports Business Minute presented by the FAU MBA in Sport Management Program. Accelerate your career in sports with the program committed to developing top-notch executives and managers with a focus on the job placement for students and graduates. The FAU MBA in Sport Management Program.
Don't let the rising temperatures catch you off guard. Hey, it's Colin Russo, and since 1960, John C. Cassidy Air Conditioning and Plumbing has proudly served Palm Beach County, keeping homes cool and comfortable. Now's the time to upgrade your AC with great financing options. Plus, ask about the Cassidy Care Club, providing year-round peace of mind. Cassidy is part of our local community and supports organizations like the YMCA and the Palm Beach Gardens Youth Athletic Association. Keep cool with Cassidy Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Find out more at CassidyAC.com.
As market dynamics change, the quality and service you receive from your accounting firm shouldn't. Partner-owned since 1923, Anshin Accountants and Advisors take the time to get to know you and your unique circumstances to help resolve complex issues and develop innovative tax and accounting solutions tailored to meet your goals. If you're a high-net-worth individual or business owner eager for a strategy to maximize tax savings, let Anshin deliver value where others can't. Visit ANCHIN.com. Anshin Accountants and Advisors, recalculating what's possible.
Is your credit on life support? Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach will be hosting a credit clinic at the dealership today and tomorrow. Local bank representatives will be on site to grant special approval to consumers who meet certain minimum criteria. If you have a job bringing home $350 weekly, the credit clinic at Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach wants to approve you so you can drive home your new Kia today. Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach will be hosting a credit clinic at the dealership today and tomorrow. Hello, is this thing on? I repeat, Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach will be hosting a credit clinic at the dealership today and tomorrow. If you have a job bringing home $350 weekly, the credit clinic wants to approve you for a new Kia today. So what are you waiting for? Don't miss the credit clinic today and tomorrow at Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach. Call 800-NEW-KIAs or go online at greenwaykiawestpalmbeach.com.
We want to see ya in a Greenway Kia.
Credit affects down payment and approval term.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios.
The man your man could smell it.
Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking.
But are you a different animal and the same beast?
Streaming live on YouTube.
You're gonna break up with me because of what I do on the radio?
Here's Theo Dorsey.
No Theo Dorsey, Colin Russo, second hour, theoretically speaking, on ESPN 106.3 with Christian Cat behind the glass at the City Place Studios. Beautiful day. Midweek edition. This is May the 20th, I believe. May the 21st, 2025. We just spoke with Evan Cohen, the host of Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio. You can hear him 6 to 10 weekdays on these very stations. And more importantly, with the games tonight, you can head over to maybe a Duffy's. Get a burger. Go enjoy the game. I don't know if there's a better spot to watch the game, Christian.
I tell you what, in your tee up, you picked the right menu option. Because, of course, we know Duffy's Sports Grill. It's voted the best sports grill in 2024, and they're on their way to another title in 2025. They've got award-winning burgers and wings. And speaking of the burgers, May is National Burger Month. So what did Duffy's do? This is what Duffy's did. You should grab your MVP card, head to Duffy's for a big burger blitz celebration. It's Duffy's award-winning half-pound certified Angus beef original cheeseburger and french fries starting at just $8.99 when you buy a beverage. Plus, don't forget about their famous 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. Their happy hour is whenever they're open, so you don't have to organize your schedule. They do it for you. And your favorite game or sporting event's always on with over 80 TVs in every single location. You never miss a minute of the game. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more about Big Burger Blitz. Remember, at Duffy's, our game is always on.
Burger Blitz, Knicks, Pacers. Boy, oh boy, especially with tonight. Game one, we have our unfun team that we watched last night. Now we got two really fun teams to watch tonight in the Knicks and the Pacers. That's Christian Cat, Colin Russo. It's time for us to maybe bounce around a little bit. Let's do a little get around.
I get around. What you mean you don't know? I get around.
The get around is when we jump from city to city to give you headline to headline about what's going on around the world of sports. And we start
next stop
in Dallas, Texas. Big changes are coming to the Big D for a Cowboys organization that is desperate for postseason success. Move number one, with new head coach Brian Schottenheimer's era, well, trading for George Pickens. Move number two, they're putting a ping pong table in the locker room. Yes, Brian Schottenheimer says he loves the move and likes how it brings out competitiveness. What do you make of that, Colin?
Brings out competitiveness.
That's the verbiage.
Is that what we need? Is that what the Cowboys need? Are you under that impression?
They need to be more competitive. I think focus might be focusing on the
Healthier?
one goal is winning.
Healthier?
Sure.
I mean, the one thing, focus is a good one because the podcast, Michael Parsons.
Sure.
Do I like this? No. I think the Cowboys need to actually shut up and just win games, and then everybody will start believing them when they start 6-2. Instead, this is the time of the year. This is the Cowboy time of the year because nobody is better than the Cowboys in the offseason because they get the big-time games. They will make one or two moves, the George Pickens move, and everybody's under the impression that this is going to be something different than what we're used to with the Dallas Cowboys, and I'm not sure we'll necessarily see that. I'm not sure we will.
Are you good at ping pong?
I could play. I'm a novice. I'm okay.
I feel like putting a ping pong table in the NFL locker room makes for a lot of money being put on ping pong games. Because if you ever played golf with someone who's played professional sports, they like to throw money on it because
it gets them going.
Yeah, like they They played sports for a living. They played a game for a living, so that got them driven through. They need to have that competitive juice, a little bit of cash on the line. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to rub my crystal ball for you. This ping pong table might be trouble. I think we're going to be sitting here October 14th. Brian Schottenheimer removes ping pong table from the Cowboys locker room because of an unfocused, maybe agitated locker room where fights were happening.
I can't remember who it was. It might have been Pete Carroll. It might have been John Gruden when he was on the Raiders. But they removed the ping pong. You know who it was? It was Tom Coughlin with the Jacksonville Jaguars. He removed the ping pong table immediately, and it was a big ruckus amongst the players. All the players were pissed off. So maybe there's something to that because it was like they took their dog away. And they were their baby. And they were all pissed off. And that was the big start. And, there's a tumultuous relationship between the players and Tom Coughlin when he ran the Jags towards the end of his career. And he removed the ping pong table for focus. And it really rubbed the players the wrong way. So now that he's introduced this, there's almost going to be too much of a detachment. You're going to create a resentment if and when you remove it.
I like it. I brought it into this world. I can take it out. That's the Brian Schottenheimer leverage he has in the players.
So you got to establish that early. You can't get them too used to it. So maybe keep it the week after wins, and then the week after losses, you got to get rid of the ping pong table. That's what you do. We want it back. Want a 3-game losing streak? Go get another one.
Our next stop is Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. And yes, by now you know the Thunder beat Minnesota in Game 1 of NBA's Western Conference Finals, overwhelming the Timberwolves 114-88. What you might not have seen, or rather heard, was Mike Malone, former coach of the Denver Nuggets. He was fired in April by the Nuggets. When I was working for ESPN on the side, he was speaking on ESPN postgame and spoke specifically about who we assume to be the future MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
And then Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he showed why he's the MVP. He took over in the second half.
On the surface, if you don't know who that is, it seems like whatever. You might forget about it. But remember, Mike Malone is the coach of the Nuggets coaching Nikola Jokic, who, when he was the coach, saying Joker is the MVP. Was this a calculated shot at Joker?
Yes, there's no doubt in my mind. There is no doubt in my mind that this was a petty remark. Because if you're Michael Malone and you got fired, you don't get fired because the owners want you out. You got fired because the owners cleared it with Nikola Jokic, and then they got you out. And you know that. So I don't know if this is a shot at Jokic for getting him out of there. I'm not saying it was just Jokic is the reason he left, but Jokic had something to do with it. You don't make that move with 3 games to go in the regular season if Jokic does not approve of it. So yes, this is a calculated shot. Now, granted, he should know better. I don't think Jokic really cares. I don't know if it's as important to Jokic as maybe it's being led on to believe that he's not going to get, his 4th MVP. I don't think it's going to happen. But I think this is a calculated shot. Would you agree with that?
I don't know. This feels like a non-TV pro, just kind of saying things and not realizing what they said afterwards.
He's a coach. He's a former coach. It's not like he's years and years of TV experience.
Yeah, but it's not your job to be entertaining as a coach. It's your job to be entertaining and providing something of value when you're a TV reporter personality. I don't think he realized what he said in the moment. I think after he said it, he realized what he said, because there's only one MVP candidate alive in the playoffs right now, and it is SGA.
Now, do you think that he said that because he knows the answer already?
Yes.
He knows that they've won?
Yes. I think absolutely. There's no
I
reason
think
to
it's
hold...
probably an open secret, but I'm sure a lot of people in the inner circles know they're just delaying an announcement for whatever.
I'm pretty sure you can't bet on it anymore, too. I think that, there's...
Probably out there.
Yeah.
The ballots are out there. Now they're just waiting for a time to announce. Where are we going?
Next stop,
Orchard Park, New York, because the Buffalo Bills will be this preseason's Hard Knocks team. NFL Commissioner Goodell announced today. Goodell also announced the midseason Hard Knocks feature will follow the NFC East. Is that a home run getting the Bills for preseason Hard Knocks?
I'm surprised the Bills are cool with it. I'm surprised the Bills are inviting it. But are the Bills at a point now where they're just trying anything for a little bit of mojo? They're just trying anything for a little bit of flair? They're getting a new stadium. The same thing happened. They lost to the Chiefs once again in dramatic, terrible fashion. Are they just trying to mix it up? Can we get rid of this dark cloud? Is it going to be Hard Knocks? Hard Knocks curses a lot of teams. They're going to have the opposite effect on us. Now, I'm not sure if they're reading too much into it, but if I'm looking at it from a Bills fan, this changes up the routine. This adds a little bit of a dynamic to the team that I think will be fun to watch, number one. But number two, they're trying to win the big one. That is all they're trying to do. Josh Allen has got his hardware. They were trying to win it last year. This is it. It is a Super Bowl or bust year again for them. All right, add a little bit of flair to it. Let's get Hard Knocks in here, maybe a little bit of pressure. Nothing wrong with that. I think this is a home run get, and I actually think it's going to be quite good towards the end of it.
Yeah, it's not making a bad team entertaining because of the exposure we're doing with that. We're just highlighting a team everyone already is interested in. I'm very excited for this.
Now, the thing is I don't think Hard Knocks has been great in quite a bit. I think it's been a number of years since Hard Knocks has been excellent. Like, for me, I think Hard Knocks is very swing or miss. I think you'll know in the first 3 episodes if the 2 episodes really, if the team is just going to withhold all the information they have in terms of the actual interesting players that are on the team, because they're going to be a contending team. Everybody knows that. They're going to win their 12 to 14 games. Because of that, if they have a surprising rookie third-round pick that's going to be a big contributor on offense, they're not going to show that guy at all. Or if they want to see what Keon Coleman is up to and the type of steps that he's taken forward, we're not going to be taking a look at that. Now, you know how good Josh Allen is, so he's going to be a big focal point. But I don't want them to kind of hold cards close to their chest in terms of the interesting pieces of the team in favor of the competitive advantage. I hope they don't do that.
If I'm a Bills fan, I am very encouraged by this, not just because I get to watch my team on that stage and whet that appetite even more. It reeks of security, the opposite of insecurity.
They're not nervous about it.
I think the Bills are very confident in what they're putting on the field in 2025. They were a couple of quarterback sneaks away from beating the Bills and going to the Super Bowl last year. Like, they are very confident in that they have what it takes to be the best team in football, and by inviting Hard Knocks through their doors,
they have no fear of mojo. They have no fear of curses or anything like that.
And like post Stephon Diggs, that little conflict, dispelling the Sean McDermott hot seat stuff with a great season last year. This is a team that is going to feel more like a sitcom where everyone's happy and everyone loves everybody. I'm really confident if I'm a Buffalo Bills fan.
You think there's any part of them that's thinking, well, it can't get any worse in terms of our curse? Like, we might as well just, add it on to the ship?
I got you. What's one more? Well,
we already have a terrible luck associated to our franchise.
They had the Madden curse, but the Bills, were good.
But it's the Bills. I mean, the Bills are good, but they cannot get they're cursed organization because they lost 4 straight. They've lost in the 13-second game. They lost in the QB sneak game. They've lost in some terrible outcomes. Just a cursed organization.
Maybe the curses cancel out this time.
That was my thinking. Maybe they bring in curse number 2 to alleviate curse number 1. Maybe curse number 2 compounds on curse number 1, and they win 6 games. But I think they're willing to change it up, and I think the idea of security is a big thing. Everybody in NFL teams, there's a reason everybody says no. There's a reason everybody says no because of the competitive advantage that it provides for other teams if you're not smart with how you do it. And number 2, the lack of focus amongst the players. And I'm sure there's part of it that's thinking it's bad mojo. You get them involved, it's bad mojo for the coaches, it's bad mojo for the players. I don't think the Bills care about any of that. Where are we going?
Next stop,
Raleigh, North Carolina, because there was another conference finals game won last night on the ice in hockey. The Panthers took Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals 5-2 over Carolina. Mid-season blockbuster acquisition Brad Marchand got ejected after Shane Gostisbehere, I think that's how you pronounce his name, Gostisbehere, fired a puck directly at him. They were at center ice. It was uncalled for, so what did Marchand do? Well, he engaged in fisticuffs, firing punches, bludgeoning Shane's face, making him bleed. What was your takeaway from Marchand v. Shane?
It's always Marchand. You love to have him. You hate to play against him. Just such a feisty little man. He really is.
Is he little? I thought he's big.
I want to say he's like 5'9", but it's hard to tell with hockey players.
That's true.
But point being, he's always involved. He's always the pesky one of the bunch.
He's 5'9".
But he's a junkyard. Yeah, there you go. He's a junkyard dog. That's what Marchand is. And you love to have him. You hate to play against him. Getting the major, was it worth it? No, it wasn't. But all of a sudden, you add a little juice to this series because this series has 5 games written all over it. The Carolina Hurricanes, we'll get into that a little bit later, but they're going to have a lot of trouble. Holding on to the puck, playing a slow pace of play, it worked against the Devils and the Capitals. It's not going to work against the defending Stanley Cup champions. I think that's going to be a really tough series.
A decided victory in a fight in a hockey game in the playoffs feels bigger than winning game 1.
Because there's so much more on the line with actual punishment. Because during the regular season, all right, we'll take the penalty, we'll take the major, we'll take a game suspension, not a huge deal. Hockey in the playoffs, that 2 minutes or 4 minutes would be a major shift.
It was in the third period, and they were leading at that point.
It didn't matter.
It was almost like, because now, not only are you 1 up on the series.
That's why the Hurricanes were careful about it, because they don't want to. They don't want to play shorthanded. That's it. You have to really want to hurt somebody to go do it in the postseason.
I'm shocked that Marchand got ejected and not Gostisbehere. Like, it was he fired the puck at him at the middle of the ice.
Right, but he didn't
If you're Marchand, what the hell are you going to do otherwise?
He wasn't too going at him, I should say, when they were actually fist fighting, but yes.
Marchand was going like open-handed punches. I'm surprised that he dropped him with them.
One more
Next stop.
One more spot.
Our final destination of the get-around brings us to, well, the great state of Florida, because the Florida League started last night testing check swing challenges. Here are the bullet point experimental rules that Class A Florida League teams that are right around us are going to be doing. So, each club in baseball will have 1 check swing challenge and will retain any successful challenge. So if you get 1 right, you get another. You get 2 right, you keep it going, you keep on getting lucky. A swing will be called... Stay with me here. I'm going to dumb this down. A swing will be called when the head of the bat is ahead of the knob of the bat. Top of the bat, bottom of the bat. By more than 45 degrees. Think of the angle from the corner of home plate to first base.
How are they going to check? How are they going to test this?
I'm glad you asked. Hawkeye bat tracking technology provides the maximum bat angle for each swing. That's the same technology that ABS is used for pitch tracking automatic balls and strikes. Anything short of 45 degrees will be called a no swing.
Really? So this is a real test. This is probably a test for other leagues, too.
Yeah, I mean, they did automatic balls and strikes. They did it before they brought it to spring training for major leagues. So this is the first step.
This is another one of, all right, well, we got to see if this works. Okay, interesting.
So 45 degrees, it's more than just 2 home plate.
I like that. My biggest question is, how are they going to quantify it? How are they going to put a number to it? How are they going to establish right and wrong there just off of the eye test? So I actually, if that is proper, I don't hate this at all. Because at the first base or the third base, the umps are not doing a good job with it. I actually like you retaining it and you continuing to challenge it because it continues to hold umpires accountable.
I mean, right now, without any of this put in place, checking and appealing a check swing to the base umpires, there's no math to it. There's no science to it. It's all a gut feeling.
Half the time, they just I don't really remember what it looked like.
Yeah, it didn't feel like a swing to me.
You know what? Yeah, I'm just off of recollection and memory. I completely agree with you. So
I don't think you tried to hit that ball. Like that's as
do I like it? Do I like this guy? Should I give him this?
I don't know. He grimaced when he held the bat back. You meant that check swing. No, you tried to sell that one. That was a swing. So I like putting actual quantifiable data into it. I agree with you.
Yeah, and more chances to hold umpires, referees, and officials accountable, the better it is for everybody. As long as it doesn't take 45 minutes, like how the NBA does it sometimes with these reviews, as long as they're able to hold them accountable quickly, like the automatic balls and strike system, it was quick, in and out. You called it, all right, 1, 2, 3, we know, then we move on. That being a seamless part of the game, a major win. Major win. I'm completely for it.
By the year, we might remove reasons for players to get mad at umpires. So that's an unintended consequence in terms of the entertainment value of Major League Baseball, because we saw a pitcher get ejected for a strike call that he thought it was.
Right.
Who was it?
It's almost a part of the game.
Walker Buehler?
When for Aaron Boone to get booted after a terrible call, either at home plate or on a strike call, and it's almost a rite of passage for the manager to come out the next play and start screaming bloody murder at the umpire and get tossed. You're going to lose that aspect of the game if and when that happens, but yes.
That's the perfect occurrence for Christian Cat on July 6th. It's like, I need that today. I want Aaron Judge to mimic the called strike call from Aaron Boone, to mimic an umpire. That's
Are you going to be at Yankee Stadium July 6th?
No, that was just a random midsummer day where nothing else is going on. So let me see a fight between general manager and head coach.
If they're going to make a bad call, then let Boone get ejected because it just adds something to the game. Whether it's Boone, it could be anybody. But the way I look at it is you're going to lose that aspect of the game.
Right, that's a consequence.
Is that trade-off worth it? Absolutely.
Yeah, in playoffs, are you kidding me?
For the manager to get ejected once every 30 games because of a bad strike call, we don't need that. All right?
We have other reasons for that to happen. Like one of my favorite ejections I remember as a baseball fan was when Alex Rodriguez was playing for the Yankees during appealing his suspension and steroids.
Right.
And they roll into Boston. Obviously, just enemy number one is A-Rod. Massive boos. He gets thrown at not once, not twice, but 3 times, and the pitcher does not get ejected. So Joe Girardi storms out of the dugout and just lays into the home plate umpire. You're still going to get retaliation, throwing at batters, all of that to make a manager angry.
That's what we want.
Yeah, we'll still get it.
Give a manager an opportunity to get ejected once or twice. One of my all-time favorite ejections, too, is when Bobby Valentine got ejected, and then he went back to the clubhouse and he got a fake mustache and glasses and went back in the dugout. Oh,
I was thinking, your ass in the jackpot now.
Yeah,
I was thinking of that mic'd up moment.
Another great one.
You gotta give me a shot.
Another great one. But Bobby Valentine coming back with a fake mustache and glasses. The umpire's going, Bobby, we know it's you. Get the hell out of here. All time. We need stuff like that in baseball. That's Christian Cat, Colin Russo. Theoretically speaking, we're going to loop in a little Cade Chumson. I think we're going to do some trivia on the flip side.
And we're going to get the callers for trivia right here, right now, as you deliver the Baptist Health Hotline. And while you're doing that, I want the fans of Theoretically Speaking to call in.
So what you got to do is call in 888-760-3776. It will be myself versus Christian Cat trivia. All you got to do is call in and take a side, myself or Christian. Cade Chumson comes up with very obscure topics, so we have no idea what's coming, but it's going to be tricky. We know that for sure.
And you don't got to know anything about sports. You don't know anything about anything. You call in. If you're a first or second caller, you get one of me or Colin, and we got to know the stuff.
Let's change it up to callers 3 and 4. 888-760-3776. Callers 3 and callers 4. We're going to call in for a chance to win a Duffy's gift card, did I hear?
25 bones to Duffy's. Yeah.
A Duffy's gift card on the line. All you got to do is call in, take a side, myself or Christian Cat for trivia. Next segment, 888-760-3776. Is joint pain affecting your quality of life? Because at Baptist Health Orthopedic Care, our team is experienced in traditional joint replacement surgery, as well as new, less invasive treatments with the goal of returning you to doing what you love as quickly as possible. Learn more by visiting baptisthealth.net/ortho today. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care combines its resources of experienced physicians and leading-edge treatments and technology to provide advanced orthopedic foot and ankle joint replacement, spine, and sports medicine care. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho for more information today. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care has offices conveniently located in Palm Beach County through the Florida Keys. Learn more by visiting baptisthealth.net/ortho. The Baptist Health to get into the show, 888-760-3776. You want a Duffy's gift card? $25 to Duffy's? All you got to do, call 888-760-3776. Pick a side, myself or Christian Cat, for some trivia on the flip side with Cade Chumson. Stick around for it. ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Kaiser University's flagship campus, the 100-acre residential campus at 2600 North Military Trail in West Palm Beach, extends Kaiser University's educational offerings to over 100 degrees within the heart of South Florida. Kaiser University also has an athletic program with 24 national championships, including the 2024 Women's Swimming and Diving Championship and Men's Lacrosse title. Visit KUSeahawks.com for the latest.
Hi, I'm Scott Smith with Smith Ball Baez and Prather, Florida Injury Lawyers. As you have likely seen and heard, law firm advertising is at an all-time high. Attorney ads seem to be part of every radio and TV commercial segment. Some firms are even using paid actors and actresses to speak for them. At Smith Ball Baez and Prather, we know that the decision to hire a law firm should never be based on advertisements alone. It is our past results and many positive 5-star reviews that we encourage you to read at smithball.com to learn more about our law firm. We have board-certified lawyers. We have lawyers listed in the best lawyers in America and in super lawyers. But most importantly, we have experienced lawyers located right here in Palm Beach County and the Treasure Coast that are ready to be your advocate and your voice, and fully prepared to start fighting for your legal rights today. Our purpose, legal power. Our mission, huge results. If you've been injured, the lawyers at Smith Ball Baez and Prather will help. Call us at 500-HELP, 500-HELP. With Smith Ball Baez and Prather, help is just a local phone call away. Offices Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie.
Wing Wednesday, brought to you by Hurricane Grill and Wings. 30 bold flavors, ice-cold beer, handcrafted cocktails. Your home for sports is Hurricane Grill and Wings. Find your spot at hurricanewings.com.
Raising Cane's invites you to grab life by the chicken fingers. So get out there. Be you. Do you. Embrace whatever makes you, you. All while enjoying Raising Cane's hand-battered cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and that secret recipe cane sauce that makes everything that much better.
Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
Cane's is coming soon to Tamarack at University and Commercial.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code JOEQ, J-O-E-Q, to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
This Memorial Day, turn up the heat with the Home Depot. Find the perfect grill and patio set to keep the cookouts coming all season long. Grill up a feast with the Next Grill 4-burner gas grill, only $229. And complete your space with the stylish Glen Ridge Falls 7-piece dining set, now on special buy for just $499 with free delivery. Take your Memorial Day cookout to the next level all summer long with the Home Depot. See homedepot.com/delivery for more details.
Get this. Joey and me were supposed to go to this concert next week, right? But then something terrible happened. Joey was driving without a seatbelt. But he didn't wreck. No, he got pulled over. Now Joey has to pay for a seatbelt ticket instead of a concert ticket, and I have to go by myself. How lame is that? So Joey, if you're out there, you're an idiot. Wear your seatbelt or you'll get a ticket.
All across the country, cops are cracking down. Click it or ticket, day and night.
Funded by the Florida Department of Transportation.
Banyan Printing. For 47 years, the trusted partner for all your printing, mailing, and signage needs. And 2025 just brought something big to Banyan. Introducing Banyan's new press. Bigger, faster, and more competitively priced than anything you'll find anywhere in the Palm Beaches. Think variable data postcards, bulk mailings, and high-quality print on stocks up to a 24-point board. Banyan Printing. Visit banyanonline.com and discover how your business's printing materials can get bigger and better.
The playoffs are heating up, but your home shouldn't. Stay cool with EDS air conditioning. Right now, qualified customers can take advantage of 0% interest for 60 months on a brand new AC. Hot streaks belong in sports, not in your home. With over 800 Google reviews and a 4.8 star rating, EDS is the name you can trust since 2006. Visit EDSIsYes.com today. Game day comfort starts now. Don't sweat the small stuff.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking. Streaming live on YouTube, here's Theo Dorsey.
No Theo Dorsey, Colin Russo, Christian Cat with you from the City Play Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. We got Cade Shumslin in the studio with us, who's going to help us out with a little trivia because we got Dennis in West Palm Beach who's going to help us out and choose a side, myself versus Christian Cat. I haven't done a Jeopardy style, so I'm excited to see how this goes. Cade Shumslin, of course, has the trivia. He is our host today. Let's welcome in Dennis from West Palm Beach, caller number 3. Dennis, welcome in, and what side are you going to be taking? Myself, Colin Russo, or Christian Cat on today's trivia?
I'm going to go with C-Cat.
All right.
What?
Uh-huh.
Do you know Dennis?
This is my day part, man. The 2 to 4 audience is familiar with my trivia prestige. So that's going to settle Kyle in Lake Worth. He was our second caller.
Kyle
He's stuck with you.
All right, Kyle. I got you here. They don't trust me. I feel like an outsider now. Christian Cat's got his posse, taking him on the what is it, trivia.
Uh-huh.
So, all right, Cade. So we got our trivia here. Take us away. What do we got here?
Yeah, so we got a big one today. We got some time to kill, so let's make it a big one. We got 10 questions.
Time to kill?
Didn't have to say that.
No,
time to kill.
No, I get shoved into the last 15 minutes of hour 1 normally, so I'm going to take my time
you got
on
time.
this one.
No problem. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. I don't know if you guys saw. I've been watching all of the different schedule releases for the NFL. The Houston Texans did one where they called all of their favorite Houston Texans celebrity fans, and they released the schedule on
different FaceTimes. Okay. So
I
don't know any
celebrity
do they have
Texans celebrity fans?
They Dennis Quaid and
Ashley Clem, our former intern.
Yep, they got that one too.
Yeah.
There's a few
Cade Shumslin, trivia master.
There were a few others on there. But I thought it was really cool, and I was thinking to myself, what are some other big-time sports celebrity fans? So that's the topic of today's trivia.
Okay, pop culture meets sports.
All right, this
Let's
is not
do
gonna.
this.
This is not gonna.
So how does this work?
This is the only topic of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh God.
We've got 10 questions, and when Colin thinks he has the answer, you're going to hear that. When I buzz in because I know the answer and I want to answer first, it's going to sound like that. So, Colin, you see your button on the bottom left of the screen?
I do it.
All right.
I got
Cade,
it.
the floor is yours.
I don't like this topic
Me and you,
immediately.
Dennis.
I don't
Me
like
and you,
that.
Dennis in
made
West
a good
Palm.
decision here. All right, go ahead, Cade.
Rock and roll. If you know it, buzz in. You may lose yourself when you hear of this Detroit line.
Got it. Thank you. That's Eminem.
Yes, sir.
So you just have to get. What about the teams? You don't have to say anything about the teams, or are you going to say the teams and we have to guess the?
He was about to say Detroit Lions.
I was about to say Detroit Lions. So if you know it, just buzz in.
I knew that. Okay, I'm curious. Okay, go ahead. That makes sense. All right, now I'm following.
Well, so I'm going to stop saying anything when I hear someone buzz in.
Right.
So I may ask for the person. I may ask for the team.
Okay, I was curious on what you were asking.
So I
that was
guessed
there,
right.
Eminem. Okay.
So I guessed right.
Yes. This super fan may have to narrate a documentary of this year's Knicks team called Night at the Garden.
Ooh. I got this. That's Ben Stiller, my friend.
Yes, it is. Well done,
Ben Stiller does narration for the Knicks?
He is he is a Night at the Museum lead actor, and he's a massive Knicks
play
fan.
on words. I was trying to think. He said narrate. My mind went to David Attenborough. The guy who does the nature ones. Sir David. My mind was David Attenborough. I'm like, David Attenborough is a Knicks fan? I had no idea. I'm like, how did Cade pull that out?
All right,
Colin's gonna hurt himself by trying to be too niche.
I'm overthinking. All right, jeez.
All right, here we go. Turns out this actor loves everything related to the ocean, including the Miami Dolphins.
Keep going. Sorry.
No, that's it. All right.
Loves everything related to the ocean, including the Miami Dolphins. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
He said ocean, so I thought Ocean's 11. Is it George Clooney?
No, it's not.
That was a good guess.
Dolphins, so that means I'm on the clock.
I wasn't done with the question.
Oh, please proceed.
Turns out this actor loves everything related to the ocean, including the Miami Dolphins. Yo-ho.
All right. I'm going to... Is it Johnny Depp?
It is Johnny Depp.
Oh, yeah! I put him from half court there. How did I get Johnny Depp?
How did you explain your thought process
You're
there?
thinking like Captain Jack Sparrow. Yo-ho, yo-ho, a pirate's life for me.
He's right on it.
Wow.
I'm glad. I wouldn't have gotten it without the yo-ho.
That was the point.
He's a Dolphins fan.
He said he loves the ocean. I'm like, it's Danny Ocean from Ocean's 11. I'm trying to think of it like Cade. Cade did that same style for the previous two, and I was adapting. Whatever. All right, go ahead.
3-0. Whoa.
I need a big time here.
All right, here we go.
Are there double points? Are there something like that?
We got 10 questions straight up, so there's still a chance to come back. The truth is, he's a Los Angeles Lakers super fan. But
Jack Nicholson.
Yep.
Oh, I got you. You can't handle the truth. Were you going there?
I was about to get there.
It doesn't matter. All right, there's one LA Lakers super fan, and it's Jack Nicholson. All right, go ahead.
That is true. All
right, that was a big one. I needed that.
Yeah.
Boy, I need to get on the board.
3-1 in favor of Seacat still. Although he played a Philadelphia Eagle in a Disney film. Mark
Wahlberg.
Incorrect.
Oh, you were talking about Mark Wahlberg? What is that?
Please proceed, Cade.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Curiosity killed the cat.
Mark Wahlberg is actually a fan of this team.
He left the Super Bowl when the Patriots were down 28-3. So, should we consider him a Patriots fan? For the sake of this, we will. Mark Wahlberg is a Patriots fan.
That's ridiculous. I completely thought it was the previous style of question. I'm adapting too fast. All right.
4-1.
4-1. Here we go. Back half of the trivia. This is great.
I think I could win it with this.
This is great stuff.
No, you can't.
No. I could force overtime at bare minimum if I win this.
Yeah, it's the first to 6, essentially, if we're playing this way. So here we go. He may be the ultimate celebrity sports fan. He's thrown first pitches, sung at a Super Bowl halftime. He even co-hosted the 2024 Summer Olympic Games with Mike Tirico.
Who was this? My mind.
He co-hosted with Mike Tirico in the Summer Olympic Games in 2024, and he's the ultimate celebrity
sports fan. You'll see him everywhere.
Ruben Studdard.
Incorrect.
My mind went to Rob Lowe with the NFL logo hat. Is it Rob Lowe?
Great guess, but that is also incorrect. This was Snoop Dogg, guys.
Oh.
Did you guys not see him when watching the Olympics? He was in the studio with Mike Tirico the whole time.
We probably talked about that on these airwaves. Honestly, I
didn't watch a ton of studio shows during the Olympics. I don't know. All right, I don't remember that at all.
You're considering the LA Super Bowl where he jumped there? Oh, he headlined.
Yes, he headlined that Super Bowl halftime show. I never said he was the main star. I just say he sung at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He's thrown first pitches for 3 different MLB teams.
Wow. But, and you didn't give us a specific sports fan.
Yeah, he's literally everywhere. That's why I didn't want to get him at a specific. You can't say sports nowadays without celebrities and Snoop Dogg, but the Olympics was the way I went with
that one. I thought Rob Lowe was a decent guest. You remember he was at that one London game with a cap that just said the NFL on it?
That's true.
Like the NFL gave him that, like we need good product placement. Here you go.
All right, so it's still
4-1.
Still 4-1. We're on question 7. You may see the rapper Ludacris spitting bars, riding with the Fast and Furious family, or chilling at a ballpark watching this NL team.
I think he's a Brewers fan.
He's not a Brewers fan.
Why did I think Brewers?
Atlanta Braves.
It is an Atlanta Braves fan. Great pull, Colin
I needed
Russo.
that. You know what I thought you were going to? See, I'm thinking too far into these questions. He mentions Ludacris, and I'm like, he's talking about Baby with Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber, Toronto Maple Leafs. I was this close to answering Justin Bieber and the Toronto Maple Leafs.
4 steps ahead.
I was this close when he said Ludacris because he's a feature on Baby, which was Justin Bieber's first big song.
Scores 4-2, and we've got 3 questions left.
Yes, we do. Anyone's game.
You can still win
Justin
regulation.
Bieber is totally going to be one of the answers here. Go ahead.
Honestly, country music star Tim McGraw, seen on the sidelines of this NFL team, probably makes the most sense in this trivia.
He's a Houston Texans fan.
Incorrect.
What?
He is a Pittsburgh Steelers fan.
Incorrect. I'm going with the Tennessee Titans. Nashville.
I guess so, yeah.
That makes sense. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, Tim. That's a tricky one. That was the hardest one yet.
I might have given you like Ole Miss, like Blindside actor dad. Isn't he the guy?
Yep.
Might be wrong. Okay.
No, you're right.
Okay.
Tim McGraw, Sandra Bullock.
That was interesting. All right, so there's 2 left, and it's 4-2.
You have to hit both of them to tie CCAT.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. When Anthony Mackie isn't the Falcon, or Captain America, or whatever he is nowadays, he's watching his favorite NBA team. Another type of bird. I heard a whistle first.
Colin.
Was that at the exact same time?
No, you got that
Pretty
first.
close, but I heard the whistle first.
My bad. I called it. I didn't really have a guess.
I'm giving you the free throw line counter now. The guy that stands behind the hoop with Giannis was shooting free throws. We're down to 6. 5, 4, 3.
I'm choking this.
2.
Yeah, I don't really have one here. Go ahead.
There's only so many birds that are in the NBA.
I wasn't thinking about bird. Yeah, go
So
ahead.
I immediately am going to the Hawks.
Incorrect.
Oh, what other birds are in the
Hold
NBA?
on. Stop. All right.
No one gets this right, but you
No
want
one
this one
gets
for
it.
pride?
Oh,
You already
gets
buzzed
it right.
in. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
He's a New Orleans guy. It's a Pelicans fan.
Yeah, we were. That was never going to come to mind.
The only person that has ever come out of the closet as a Pelicans fan.
And Tim Russo is the second one. But all right, go ahead.
That's a W.
We got one more. We got one more for fun. Seacat's already got the dub, but let's finish it off right. After his Boston Red Sox won the 2004 World Series, he wrote a rare non-fiction book called Faithful.
Ooh.
There's so many Boston fans.
Oh, I got this. Stephen King.
It is Stephen King.
I was going to go Conan O'Brien.
I knew. All right, so when you say rare nonfiction, it's like, okay, so this guy writes, and he writes fiction.
Oh, I didn't pick up on that. I think that's a good
England.
pickup. I didn't pick up on that.
Stephen King. So in a route, just a formality. Dennis.
Congratulations, Dennis.
Dennis, how does it feel to be 25 Duffy's dollars richer?
It feels great. And I knew that Snoop Dogg trivia question.
Ooh.
Did you know any of the others?
No, not a clue.
Nice.
Congratulations, Dennis. That's $25 from Duffy's directly to you. I swear that would have been. I was this close to doing Justin Bieber. I'm surprised you didn't do Bieber because he's been hanging around the Toronto Maple Leafs
for that
every 5 seconds for the past couple of days.
Could have gone Edge. You know Edge. WWE
Yeah,
guy.
what team is he?
He's a big Maple Leafs fan. They had the camera on him a bunch when the Panthers were beating that butt
I didn't
in
notice
Game
that.
7.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, he was sitting on the glass, and he was greatly disappointed that the Florida Panthers beat them down.
Wow. Okay, so Edge is a big Toronto Maple Leafs fan.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Snoop Dogg. Who's another big one?
I have a bonus question if you guys want.
Let's
to
do
hear
it.
another one.
This is interesting. Go
All
ahead.
right. So Mark Wahlberg likes the Patriots. His TED counterpart, Will Ferrell, broke that friendship for just a moment during Super Bowl 49 when he was cheering for this team.
The hotkey was down, but I did it. Did you do it as well?
No.
New York Giants.
Incorrect.
Oh,
Super Bowl
I didn't even think about 49. Oh.
Is he a Rams fan?
No, he's a Seattle
He was
Seahawks
a
fan.
Seahawks here.
When I think Will Ferrell and I think sports, I think of when he did like the first pitch at a bunch of different games or something like that. There was like a tour in spring training where Will Ferrell would helicopter into these spring training facilities and throw a pitch. Is this connected with anyone else?
Nope.
No.
This happened? No? Okay.
maybe.
I don't know.
Did
I'm
this
gonna
not
look it up.
happen?
I'm going to look it up during the break.
You mentioned helicopter into like a sporting venue. I'm thinking of that scene in The Other Guys when he comes in on the helicopter to the golf driving range.
At the Catalina Wine Mixer?
And that as well. That's another good one from Step Brothers. So he has a lot of moments with helicopters.
Yes.
Interesting.
Apparently so.
That Mark Wahlberg question was phony. You can't lead in with he played a Philadelphia Eagle in a Disney movie.
You got to pick your spots when to jump in early.
Well, so here's the thing. If we were actually playing Jeopardy, I've been in my bag with Jeopardy lately, binge watching this show. They have to buzz in after the host has already said the full question.
Right.
You guys have the freedom of potentially risking and buzzing in early. Yeah. Sometimes those Jeopardy questions, they'll actually reveal what the real part of the question is in the last word. And then people will buzz in frantically.
What made you come up with that topic?
It was literally the Houston Texans reel I saw.
That was it.
The Houston Texans reel, because I saw Dennis Quaid on that list, and I love Dennis Quaid as an actor, and I was like, oh shoot, he's a Texans fan. That's sick. And then I thought that would be a great topic for today.
Okay, because that was interesting. I'm like,
we're getting into like the lull of like sports right now. I know we still got a lot of big time playoffs going on, but I've been doing hockey and basketball trivia in the past. I'm trying to get into like more niche type subjects. So we had ball math, we had alliteration stuff.
Have you ever gotten
like puzzle
when
type
you usually do that? You do this weekly with when Theo Dorsey's here and Christian Cat. Have you ever stumped them to a point where they're getting like 1 or 2 total throughout the entirety of the whole thing? in terms of the points?
Sometimes. I haven't done it in a long time.
Is there a topic that was too powerful that you pulled out?
There's never a topic that's too powerful. It's however difficult you make the questions, right? Because I could ask you a crazy stat from a crazy year and force you to pick
on
the
a
exact
topic
same
that you
number.
do know, but yes.
Right? So it's all about making it easy enough to where everyone knows it, but also doesn't know it. Like you saw, these questions got harder as they went. Did that on purpose.
Cade Shumsden, appreciate you helping us out with the trivia. That's Christian Cat, Colin Russo. Theoretically speaking, we'll close out the program, roll right into Russo and Rizzo. On the flip side, stick around for it on ESPN 106.3.
Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, proudly representing the residents of South Florida since 1985, and proud supporter of Inter Miami on ESPN West Palm. Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath has attorneys across South Florida ready to fight for your rights. They've recovered billions for their clients, and you won't pay anything unless you win your case. If you have been injured, call the attorneys at Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, 561-867-4117, or online at foryourrights.com. Main office in West Palm Beach.
Your golf tip of the day is presented by the Club at Lost Lake in Hope Sound. Putting greens are hard to read. With the endless hills and valleys, your putt could go anywhere. To train your eye to read greens, try this drill. Place a tee in the ground to the right or left of the hole, where you think the slope will affect the ball enough for it to roll into the hole. Next, practice a smooth, repeating pendulum putting stroke that rolls the ball consistently and avoids any side spin. If the ball misses the hole, adjust the tee to mark the correct line. Once you find the perfect line, make 10 putts in a row on that path to solidify your feel and confidence. For an even better challenge, repeat this drill from multiple angles around the hole. Over time, you'll train your eyes to detect subtle slopes and adjust accordingly. With regular practice, your putting will become more precise and your number of putts per round will decrease. Mastering this drill can take your putting to the next level and help you dominate the greens. For more on memberships, visit theclub@lostlake.com.
Don't let the rising temperatures catch you off guard. Hey, it's Colin Russo, and since 1960, John C. Cassidy Air Conditioning and Plumbing has proudly served Palm Beach County, keeping homes cool and comfortable. Now's the time to upgrade your AC with great financing options. Plus, ask about the Cassidy Care Club, providing year-round peace of mind. Cassidy is part of our local community and supports organizations like the YMCA and the Palm Beach Gardens Youth Athletic Association. Keep cool with Cassidy Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Find out more at CassidyAC.com.
As market dynamics change, the quality of service you receive from your accounting firm shouldn't. Anshin Accountants and Advisors take the time to get to know you and your unique circumstances to help resolve complex issues and develop innovative tax and accounting solutions tailored to meet your goals. If you're a high net worth individual or business owner eager for a strategy to maximize tax savings, let Anshin deliver where others can't. Visit anchin.com. Anshin Accountants and Advisors, recalculating what's possible.
While it's not always possible to see contaminated water coming out of the faucet, the taste is difficult to ignore. And what about plastics and pharmaceuticals now in the water? The team at Culligan is here to help. Culligan offers water testing and reverse osmosis systems designed to filter out those contaminants right at the source. Culligan has been helping the local community with water issues since 1936. Schedule your appointment today at Culligan.com.
Hey, Culligan!
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking. Streaming live on YouTube, here's Theo Dorsey.
No Theo Dorsey, Colin Russo in with Christian Cat on ESPN 106.3 from the City Place Studios. We're right here in downtown West Palm Beach. You missed any of the program today, you missed any of the trivia, you want to go listen back, or Evan Cohen, who joined us last hour, go listen to Theoretically Speaking on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, all those great places. Christian Cat, Colin Russo. Now, the interesting thing, too, is at this time of the year, we start talking about who our NBA champion or NHL champion. But if you're talking about NAIA school sports, I think there's only one team that basically hoards all the championships for themselves.
Clap it up, everybody. Clap it up, because the Kaiser Seahawks are all about championships, not just in the classroom, now on the tennis courts, too. Yeah, for the first time ever, the men's tennis team are national champions. Big shout out to Coach Robert McAdoo and the Seahawks tennis squad for winning their first ever national championship. They beat Georgia Gwinnett, who had won the previous 10 national championships. Kaiser got the monkey off the back. They beat the best. They are the best now. The tennis team's red banner comes right on the heels of the men's lacrosse team, who finished going back to back to back, winning those 3 straight national championships on their end as well. Kaiser, the total 26 natties, plus 69 regular season and 71 conference championships. Get the latest on the championship programs at Kaiser University. Get more of Kaiser Seahawk Athletics at kuseahawks.com.
We got Pacers-Knicks Game 1 tonight. Christian, are you under the impression that we are going to see a Knicks victory or a Pacers victory to start out in Game 1?
Where's that game being played again? Is that Indiana?
That is in New York.
Okay. I think that we're going to have an epic finish. That's what I think is going to happen.
Epic finish.
I think because of what I've seen from Halliburton, because of what I've seen from Brunson.
You get 2 clutch teams.
We're bound to have the dramatics. And lower scoring teams, I think that we could see that tonight. I think it's going to keep it close. We'll have fun.
89-88, Tyrese Halliburton game winner.
Every bucket matters just that much more.
Sign me up for that. I love a game like that. You know, my biggest gripe with the NBA of past, and I think this postseason has done a good job with this, is the NBA, when it's in the 120s, it's not as interesting. It's not as fun because every possession does not matter, which is why I love college basketball. But if it's an 88-89 slugfest, earn your baskets.
End of first quarter, 17-19.
Oh, sign me up. Every 3 feels like the last 3 you ever have. That's Christian Cat. Big thanks to him for keeping us up over the air. Big thanks to Evan Cohen and Kate Chumsman, of course, for joining us earlier on. We got myself, Colin Russo, filling in for Theo Dorsey. We'll be back in tomorrow, actually, from 2 to 4 p.m. I believe Christina Costanza will be back in studio joining us on Thursday and Friday. We got Russo and Rizzo with myself and Christian once again coming up the next 2 hours. And Mike Rizzo, I think,
got some explaining to do.
He's got some explaining to do because he's in Cleveland. And his travel schedule was peculiar, to say the least. We'll get into that. On the flip side of things, we got Russo and Rizzo coming up right after this. It's been Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3.
Most people in radio commercials talk really fast. But we made this one for RV owners. Progressive knows they like the slower pace of RV life, like this commercial. And they know